check out our new sponsor, the Health Blaze. All the information is in the description. Use the promo code above. Goodfellow Unboxing at 18% off of all their natural products, from deodorant, pomade, toothpaste, and much, much more. And they have additional discounts on their website as well. That's thehealthblaze.com. Starting December 20th. That promo code is good for 18% off. We go. All right, man, we back. Goodfellow Sports TV. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Won't miss another video. And supposed got to this a while ago. I'll leave the sources in the description. Kind of two-part video. Tony Harrison says that the rematch with Jermell Charlo most definitely will be happening this year. So it's gonna be his next fight, and we're gonna talk about Terrence Crawford next fights being December 14th. And I heard who the opponent was behind the scenes, but I'll link the interviews in the description, or the source links in the description. Harrison said it on Twitter to somebody that asked him what's going on. He said, for sure. And I'll link the tweet in the description, or the source link once again, that just hit the drop down box of description. He said the rematch is going to be on like hot popcorn. A lot of people have been wondering what's going on with Tony Harrison. And if you follow him on Instagram, he got the little boot off his foot. He working the pass with the kids. He moving and shaking. So it wasn't no serious ankle injury. I think it was like minor, but he recovered, got the boot off. So they're probably just waiting for a fight date. If I had to guesstimate, that fight is probably going to be around the last quarter, October, November, December. October is so stacked. September doesn't provide much. So I don't know. They might have a fight date, but then you got venues. They got to get situated. Obviously, if you heard, the Barclays Centers got sold. The Yorkman guy that usually do the talking, he's no longer like the vice president of the Brooklyn Nets or the Barclays Center. He got sold to Joseph Tice from Mikhail Prokopov, the Russian billionaire. He owned the Nets and he owned the Barclays Center. So they waiting for the approval for Mr. Tice to get the Barclays Center, which I think he purchased for $1 billion. So $3 billion, just over 3.35 guesstimated value for the Barclays Center and the Nets. It was the highest sale for American sports team at $2.35 billion for the team, and then he's buying the Barclays Center. So they have a binding contract with the Barclays Center, I think, to have so many events there a year. I don't know when that contract runs out, and when it does, it'll be very interesting to Joseph Tsai, who's the I think he's a founder or co-founder of Alibaba Group, which is an internet company. They like in the top 5. Obviously Amazon is number 1. It'll be interesting to see if boxing continues there, and how does the Barclays Center is getting turned over to somebody else. And you naturally think, okay, they got a contract, and if the contract run out without Yorkman being there, you usually see him talk at the Barclays Center events. He has a brother, I think. He's no longer the president or whatever he was over there. You gotta know what Joseph Tsai plan may be or may not to be to host boxing events there. And if it is, they might, he might run the rent up, and they might not get the deal that they get on the Barclays Center right now for the cheap. That's the thing, the reason why you don't see fights a lot of places. Richard Schaefer explained that, and also he did an interview on Dante's Boxing Nation with Nuka Saab from Top Rank, that it's about the rent. The rent is what really stops fights from being held in Oakland versus Southern California. They get deals because they have relationships with people that own the venues, or associated with people that own the venue. So you know what I'm saying. So they get deals. That's why you see the fights at Barclays Centers a lot. Then you see them here and there because they got deals. And sometimes the rent is just $50,000 for the upper bowl. It might be $50,000 for the lower bowl. So this is why we don't see a lot of fights getting spread around America, is because the rent is so good in the usual places. It just makes financial sense to do it that way. So that's something to look out for. PBC relationship with the Barclays Center may be gone, unless the new owner might raise the rent up. He might lower it. He might keep it the same. He might not want boxing there due to some things that he maybe heard, or I don't know anything special or bad. But he might have a different direction. He might want to do more musical concerts during the summer and during those times. So when that contract is up, or if it's ripped up because he bought the Barclays Center, or he terminates it, it'd be nice to see what happens. Does PBC try to reform relationship with Madison Square Garden? Then do they go to the Boardwalk back to Atlantic City? Do they try to new Hard Rock? But I don't think they should have a problem, as far as the venue. But I think that's where Tony Harrison and Jermell Charlo may land at. I don't know. It may land. It could land as part of the Broner Ivan Reddick card, but I doubt it. They already announced co-feature with Erickson Lubin, and Broner sounded like he asked for more money. So I don't think he's gonna be the co-main event. So I'm more likely seeing this fight, probably the same day as Terrence Crawford, December 14th. In November they got a big pay-per-view event on the 9th with the YouTubers KSI and Logan. Canelo gonna have a big event versus Kovalev November 2nd. So the first 2 weeks of November locked up. Then you had Deontay locking up November 23rd. Maybe this fight, Charlo Harrison, might be part of the Wilder Ortiz pay-per-view event. I think that might be a real case since they've charging money for a fight that's not so pay-per-view. That might be worse a pay-per-view idea than Errol Spence and Sean Porter. Or they could do it the next week, which is after Thanksgiving. But most fighters want to get it in before Thanksgiving and Christmas, or Christmas. So that's something to look at, man. You can see first 2 weeks in December, which Bud is occupying the 14th. It could be the first week in December, but the first 3 weeks in November, I can't see it pulling the main event. I can't see it pulling the main event in October. Could double up on something. Canelo moved off of one of the October dates, so he's going to win November 2nd. So could squeeze it in October, jam-packed, would have done a ton of fights. September looking pretty light, but do they got enough time to train unless they've already been informed? So I say you're looking at November, end of November, last week of November, and you probably looking at the first 2 weeks of December, probably the first week, because Crawford is saying, Bomac said they probably pushing for New York versus Omaha. So those are the things you're looking at. So it's gonna be tough on the day for Harrison and Jermell. It might be part of the Wilder Ortiz pay-per-view event. That makes most sense. The very next week is after Black Friday and Thanksgiving. The week after that, December 7th, matter of fact, that's Andrew Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. The very next week is going to be Terrence Crawford and Ingus. That's the opponent that he's going to be fighting. I heard is Ingus, December 14th, and then maybe they do it. They do it again the third week in December whenever they did it. So it might very well be Charlo and Harrison 2, same week it was last year in the same month. But Crawford is not going to be Kell Brook. I heard it's going to be Ingus, the Mean Machine. That's who he's going to be fighting December 14th. It sounded like Ingus' team didn't want to go to Omaha. That's just me speculating. But Bomac said never call Omaha out. It sounds like it's going to be in New York City right after the Heisman Day presentation, which makes more sense. The Heisman is in New York. Crawford is going to get that special date that Lomachenko got last year. And they got to find multiple ways to keep Terrence Crawford happy. Because he's not being able to get satisfied with the Errol Spence fight, or he not be able to satisfy with Pacquiao or Sean Porter or any other high profile fights in the welterweight division, Mayweather, somebody like that. So they had to give him that important date that they usually want to get a Lomachenko, and that's how they're gonna keep him happy. They're gonna build this fight up on regular ESPN after the Heisman presentation. He should do great ratings, even if it's versus Ingus. Hopefully Shakira can slide on there, or somebody else prominent. Maybe they might do Lopez or Richard Comey co-main event. Hopefully they make it special. But I also heard that behind the scenes that it came from Crawford camp that Terrence Crawford is saying that the fight with Errol Spence is not going to be on Errol Spence terms. It's going to be on Terrence terms, and they believe coming out his camp that, or they know. I'm just going to say they believe that Terrence Crawford got just as many options as Errol Spence. So take it for how you want to. It sounds like Terrence Crawford is going to be moving up and trying some other things while waiting on Spence. That's how I look at it. But they believe they're the A side. Okay, I don't want to get into that A side, B side, C side, Z side shit. I don't. Okay, but they said that the fight would happen on Terrence terms. And just like I believe that fight ain't going to happen. I don't think so, man. Not at 147 pounds, it won't. So Crawford is willing to pay power play move. He ain't willing to submit to Errol Spence, not 1%, not a cent. So he may very well move up and get that 154-pound belt, which is just me speculating on that part. But hey, don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Hellblaze, at thehellblaze.com. Promo code GoodFellow1Boxing. Get you 18% off the 100% all natural products. Promo codes GoodFellow1Boxing is in the description. Get you 18% off the 100% all natural products. Check them out. Website, promo code, description. Other than that, don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to the email. If you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, keep sharing the videos. If you want to hit me up, email and Twitter the quickest way. You want to make a donation, the links